Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Alex. I make booktube and lifestyle and coaching and all different kinds, travel vlogs, all different kinds of vlogs. Welcome in. I hope you're having a lovely, wonderful morning, afternoon, evening. I'm so excited to chat to you about my March reads. Round of applause for the March reads. So if you're very, very new here, I love reading. I love books. I love making content about said reading and books. And in this video, it's all about the things I'm currently reading, because we are a little bit into March now, the things I'm currently reading and the things I hope to finish by the end of the month. Now, we have had a change in circumstance, lifestyle-wise, because I just finished a contract with my previous 9 to 5. I have now picked up a new contract with the same company for my next contract with them 9 to 5. So I have a good gap between now and April where I will start my new contract. So I have like a couple weeks of nothing but free time, other than obviously everything to do with content and coaching and everything I have outside of that. So I have basically a good chunk of my week available and my couple weeks until April available, which we are going to fill with nothing but reading, probably traveling, playing on my new Nintendo Switch. I got the Switch too. I'm obsessed. Someone's going to have to call the police to get me off my game. I bought Poketopia? I don't know. Pokemon-topia? I bought that, addicted already. It's taking up my brain space. But if I'm not doing any of those things, I'm going to be reading. So let's talk about my March reads. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books, of which 4 I have started. None of them finished yet. So let's start with the first and the biggest book. We have The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I said to you in my previous video, which, let me pick it up. It's right behind me here. I said to you in my previous video that I am working my way through Brandon's reading order, his personal suggested reading order for his works, and I'm very much enjoying. I finished 4 works already. I am now about 100 or so pages into The Way of Kings. So I think I'm like 130, 140 pages into The Way of Kings. It is book 1 of the Stormlight Archive, which is a huge, humongous, ginormous, very, very massive series by Brando Sando. It's one of his most highly talked about series other than Mistborn. It's not finished yet, which is kind of insane considering how many books are already in this series and how long they are, and also like how many are to come. I don't really know. So we've got in this series The Way of Kings, Words of Radiance, Edge Dancer, Oathbringer, Rhythm of War. I already know from reading Brandon's work and dropping his books. Even the characters I've met so far in 144 pages are going to go through a lot. They're going to go through a lot. There's going to be so many characters I've literally never seen before, never heard of, obviously, because I've literally this first 10% of the book in a massive series. There's probably characters that haven't been written yet, if there are still books to come in this series. So this isn't going to be like I'm going to finish this series even this year. I don't anticipate I'm going to finish this book this month. I would love to. It's a goal of mine too. But this is like over 1,000 pages. I don't anticipate that I'm actually going to be able to finish this book or even this series this year. This book, definitely this year. Hopefully by the end of April I'll have this book done. But The Way of Kings, if you would like the synopsis. I'm sure a lot of you that are on BookTube have already read this book or have at least heard of it. However, speak again the ancient oaths, life before death, strength before weakness, journey before destination, and return to men the shards they once bore. The knights radiant must stand again. Storm-ravaged, war-torn Roshar lost its protectors, the knights radiant, centuries ago. But now a new danger is arising, and new heroes must be found to meet it. A soldier fighting on the shattered plains, a general seeing visions of the past, and a clever scholar seeking an opportunity are about to discover their world is greater, more mysterious, and in more peril than they could ever have imagined. Boom! Yeah! This sounds like a bit of me. I just know I'm going to love this. I'm 10% in and I'm already hooked. I'm so excited to get through this. I just know it's going to be a journey, and anyone who's much, much further into the Stormlight Archive than me is going to probably comment on this video and say, you've got a lot to come. 10% doesn't even cover half of it, which I'm so sure it doesn't. So yeah, one book I'm reading this month, probably not even going to finish, is the Stormlight Archive. Book 1, The Way of Kings. I'm eating this up already. Book number 2, if I just have a little rejig. Drop this there, pop that there. Book 2 is Wuthering Heights. You can't see it on the side, but it's there. Wuthering Heights, by Emily Bronte. I feel so strongly that I have read this before, but it was like when I was a performative 12-year-old that really wanted to say that like I read classics. And I don't think I understood any of it because I was like 12 years old and I just wanted to be able to tell people like on my Tumblr that like I read Wuthering Heights. Do you know what I mean? So I think I've read this before. I don't think I really consumed or understood any of it, and therefore I'm reading it again. I, of course, watched Wuthering Heights with Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi. I will accept no slander about that film, simply because it was an adaptation, or if that's not the right word, it was taken to be made into something new. I don't think the intention ever was to make something that was like intentionally supposed to be completely reflective of this work. And I'm not going to defend anything to do with like the racial ambiguity. Ambiguity is probably not the right word, but like the skirting around race that is mentioned in this book, skirting around topics of, I think what people are saying is like feminism and bias and society, like social class and like issues like that this book had once mentioned at this time. I don't remember any of them, if I'm being quite frank with you, because I was like 12 when I read this. So I don't know what's actually talked about in this book other than what I saw in that movie, knowing that it wasn't going to be a true recollection of this book. So I'm going into this with the audiobook first and most importantly, the audiobook playing whilst I read this, because I recognise the fact that I'm going to struggle with some of the written English in this, and it's just going to be easier for me to get hooked much, much sooner if I'm listening to it and understand the tone, at least, of whoever, like, I think it's Amy Lou Wood, actually, now I'm saying it. I think it's Amy Lou Wood that's narrating this book in the Audible version. So I'm getting what's going on a lot more by having her voice act it. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this so far. So yeah, Wuthering Heights, I'm really excited to be reading this. I think I'll get this done this month, especially with all of the newfound free time I'm going to have. It's going to be a great read. I'm like, again, 15% of the way in. And the audiobook has been really good to help me understand the language, because it's also like super, super, super northern, like super, super, super Yorkshire kind of like tonal reading. So I'm southern. I'm quite southern. I'm very Cotswolds. So I'm struggling with some of like the abbreviations and things like that. So when she's voice acting them, it makes so much more sense to me, which is perfect. I'm loving this so far. The next book, which I do not have a physical version of, but I'm hoping to borrow from one of my friends, is Red Rising. I know nothing about this book. Nothing at all. I've not yet picked it up. This is the one book out of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I have not yet read anything about. I know that it's kind of sci-fi fantasy. I know that it's kind of out of space, maybe? I really truly know nothing about this book. Again, if you have read read, if you've watched any of my previous videos, I love to go into a book, a series, a new novel completely blind. And like sometimes I don't even read the blurb. I just hear that someone has rated this book. If it's cheap, I buy it. If it's on Kindle Unlimited, I rent it. If I can get it for free on one of my audiobook credits, I'll get it there. This is kind of one of those ones where my best friend said, "You've got to read Red Rising." And I said, "Bet." It was all 99p, like the entire like 9-book series. It's crazy. 99p per book on Kindle. So I was like, buy, because like that's one book. I think it cost me like $11.99. And one book would cost me that if I bought the physical. So I was like, you know what? We're doing it. We're committing to the whole series. If it's going to cost me the same, I'm just going to commit, get them all on Kindle and just blast through them that way. So I'm hoping, I know nothing about Red Rising other than that, but to fly through Red Rising this month too. The next book that I wanted to chat to you about is The Ministry of Time. Now, I think I've spoken about this in other reading videos. I'm not sure which ones, but I am just over 50% into The Ministry of Time, and I'm really enjoying this book. It is so intellectual, and I don't mean that in a snobby way. I mean in the way that like my brain has to work when I'm reading this. There's so many subtleties and so many like niche things that you wouldn't pick up on if you weren't focusing. I have to be in a frame of mind where I'm ready to digest and focus on this book, because I will miss things if I don't. And I'm just really enjoying the fact that like I have to use my brain, and I can't like cheat and watch something whilst I'm doing it or get distracted and like pick something else up, because I just know I'm going to miss things and I don't want to. So yeah, I'm just over 50% into this. It is. A civil servant is offered a lucrative job in a mysterious new government ministry, gathering expats from across history to test whether time travel is feasible. Her role is I can't read. Her role is to work as a bridge, living with, supporting and monitoring expat 1847 or 1847 Commander Graham Gore, a former Victorian polar explorer. Gore, an adventurer by trade, soon adjusts to this bizarre new world of washing machines, feminism and Spotify. And during a long, sultry summer, the pair move from awkwardness to friendship to something more. But as the true shape of the project that brought them together begins to emerge, Gore and the bridge are forced to confront their past choices and imagined futures. Can love triumph over the histories that have shaped them? And how do you defy that history when it is living in your house? This is so good so far. I love Graham Gore. I love our bridge. She is so smart and she is so nuanced, and there are so many aspects to her that just make her so real as a person, and as a person of mixed heritage. She is part Cambodian. I am part Nigerian. Like that experience of all the micro aggressions, lessons, things that people pick up on, things that you pick up on as someone of mixed heritage. Like there is so many nuanced things in this book, so many things that you just wouldn't think about using Spotify, feminism as a concept, what is race, like what is okay to say these days and what is not, the concept of people being openly in gay marriages and what does heterosexual mean, and like so many different like things that you just know these days that you wouldn't know if you were from 1847 or if you were from a different time period. So it's so interesting to see it talked about and referenced in this book, and like have those minute things like how does a telephone work come up in a book. It's just, yeah, it's so cool and I really enjoy it. It's taking me a while to get through, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's actually because I'm enjoying it and I'm savoring it, and I want to be fully focused and fully present when I'm reading this book. And it's just, yeah, it's a joy to read. I really, really like this. If you want to get your hands on this, I really like both copies. They have the yellow tone and the bluey green tone, so keep an eye out. They have both. If you want a particular one, I got the yellow one, but there is also like a bluey green tone. I really like the covers. But yeah, that is The Ministry of Time, and I'm really enjoying it. The fifth and final book that we are hitting this month is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I've got this on Kindle Unlimited. I have cracked the first 10%. Again, there's so, like, I'm reading so many books that like everything is getting like 10-15% at a time. I've cracked the first 10%. I think it's going to be quite an easy read. It is a black romance, which I haven't really delved into at all as a genre, and it's something I really want to start incorporating because I am also black and I want to be reading more books that reflect me and my family and my friends, and like see us represented in the things I'm reading. The things I'm reading, yes. So that is why I've incorporated Kennedy Ryan, because I've heard she's a great author, and people really love her romances. So I've incorporated Before I Let Go to be intentional with my choices there. So yeah, Before I Let Go is a romance. It's kind of based a little bit around grief. It's currently, at least, around two people who were once in a marriage and are now no longer, and they are navigating raising children, owning a business together, going through grief, and what that looks like on the other side of loving someone and having loved them now not being with them. So that is kind of like the first 10% of this book, and it's already quite heartfelt and quite emotional. So I'm very excited to be reading that and continuing reading that. But yeah, those are my reads for March. There's not much more to say than that. I don't know too much more about Red Rising or Before I Let Go. I just know that I'm probably going to really enjoy them, and I'm going to enjoy talking to you about them next month when we recap March, or maybe the month after if we're doing kind of like 2 months at a time. I will see. We'll see how much we get read and what we enjoy. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are reading any of these books too this month, or if you've decided to incorporate one of these books this month, please let me know. I would love to hear about it. I will see you in the next video. I have no idea what it will be. My channel is a mix, like I said at the start, of books and travel and lifestyle content and all of the good stuff in between. So I will see you in the next video. But yeah, I'm having one of those times where like ending a clip feels bad. So I'm just going to say goodbye. Bye, guys.